Hi guys, Puddin here with a double tap video with the Japanese Tier 8 cruiser, the Mogami. Now in this configuration, it is a heavy cruiser. My captain skills are priority target, expert marksman, basics of survivability, and concealment expert. I left it big for a reason. It's only a 10-point captain. My upgrades are protect my main batteries, better accuracy, DAMCOM 1, DAMCOM 2, and of course more concealment. This ship makes excellent use of the concealment. Now, this is the heavy cruiser configuration because I'm running the 203s. Now, what we're about to see are the stats between the two. We're going to see the 203 stats and then the 155 stats and comparing them both. Now, in the 203s, you have a reload time of 15 seconds, 26.9 turret turn, 180, maximum dispersion of 141, maximum HE is 33,000, fire chance 17%, AP is 4,700, firing range of 15.7, and the shell velocity for both at 840 meters per second. Now that is going to be a very important number. It's going to be a little bit more important than the other two numbers, but here is the 155s. Now I say this for last because you can see the comparison. Reload time is dropped by 5 seconds. Your turrets take longer to turn. You do 700 less damage with HE, 7% less fire chance, and 1400 less for AP. Range is still the same, but your velocity goes up by 85 meters per second. Now, I think this is why everybody loves the Mogami with the 155s, is because it kind of turns them into rail-esque guns. I believe these are the exact velocity you can get on the Zao, which does have 203s. Now, I was always a big believer in using the 203s over the 155s, because with the 155s, you cannot really use your AP at range. You won't get the citadels on other cruisers like you would with 203s. Kind of wish I had AP loaded here, but I wasn't expecting to see the New Orleans first, to be honest. Now, the reason I didn't switch to AP is because I don't expect to see his broadside. I'm sticking with the HE. And as you can see, he is angled a little bit. But the other thing is, you know, these don't have the high arcs like the Americans, but they do take a little bit longer to get there. Now, if I had the 155s, this shimmy would probably be shitting a brick right about now. I use my torpedoes to confirm that he's turning out. Notice the Pan-Asian DD torpedoes, luckily, because I put my plane in the sky. Dropping torps on the Pan-Asian DD. But the 203s, you can actually use your AP at distance, get citadels on cruisers, and do more damage to anything that is showing you broadside. Now, if you are running the 203s, I would highly recommend using AP on anything broadside. What the problem turns into is you have the 15-second reload. I think that's what hampers the Mogami. That and the shell velocity. Now, if you are working up the line, the tech tree line, like you just got in a Mogami, you have enough. You have the modules on. You have your hulls unlocked. Not sure if you have to unlock torpedoes, but like your range, your engine. If you have all that stuff unlocked, and the last thing for you to unlock is the guns, I would highly recommend unlocking the 203s and playing with the 203s. The reason I advise this is because these 203s are the exact same ones you're going to see on the Ibuki. There is no statistical difference, really. So you might as well get comfortable with these 203s because these are the same ones you've been using ever since Tier 5. Now, as you can see, I'm just going to play the kiting game. I probably do have 2 DDs up my butt, but I'm gonna kind of stick with the HE because the Japanese get very good HE. It does good. Does good alpha damage, and you get very good fire chance. Now, if that was a cruiser per se, like the New Orleans, and he was showing me that much side, I might have switched to AP to try to Citadel. With the 203s, you can't do that. Now, the other thing is, I'm probably the worst person to be having this argument or debate on 203s or 155s. It comes down to 2 things: personal preference and skill level. Now, this game is kind of going to be a mat game. Not going to do anything spectacular, but I'm not going to do anything really bad. Now, this is another good thing that you're going to see in both games is I'm utilizing my torps while I'm kiting away. Now, I could be shooting AP at the DD because I will do significant more. I will do guaranteed damage, even if it's overpens, but I'm just going to stick with the HE because you are a cruiser at the end of the day. But all I'm doing is kiting hair. I'm in a full retreat. I know there's at least 1 destroyer following me, and I do suspect maybe the New Orleans is somewhere back there, but I'm going to try to help focus down the curve first because guns out of the game equals good for my team because we are down 2 ships, or we are actually down 1 ship. We don't have a cap. I don't know why they didn't get C. Well, technically nobody has it and we aren't down a cap. We're not in a position to contest it and or get it. The only thing that's going to happen right now is we're going to force one of those ships to actually go cap it. Now, with all that going on, there went all our destroyers, and yay. Usually if you lose all your destroyers, it's not going to be a fun game. But I'm starting to get a little bit too far. I noticed the Pan-Asian DD, he had to stop his pursuit to go back and cap C. Now, if either the ZA would have done that or the Shimmy would have done that, if they would have done this a lot sooner, this DD would have been able to maintain his pursuit on us. Might not have been able to torp us, but of course he would have been guaranteed him spotting us. Really nothing else to shoot at, going to take aim on the curve first. Now, I kind of play the Mogami as a, with the 203s, as a long-range support ship. I'm really not going to hide behind islands. I want to sit at range and try to use AP when I can, even though I'm using a lot more HE than AP right now. But, you know, sit at range, burn things, do whatever I can, but I want to do it at range. Notice the Shimmy popped up, and that he is the one actually behind me still. Cutting my speed a little bit, slowing down, gonna take shots in on him. Because, you know what, I need to get this guy off my butt. We need to get a DD kill. We need to get rid of these guys. Really not gonna shoot at the things in B anymore. I kind of was thinking I'm gonna focus on the New Orleans. He goes in concealment because I believe the smoke cloud has got him. But to get back into track, if you have an Atago or the ARP variant, and you do have the Mogami, there's no reason for you to stick with 203s on a Mogami. The Atago is 203s as I torp the smoke, get a dev strike on the Shimikaze, and is sitting in his smoke. But like I was saying, if you got an Atago or the ARP variant, that is a 203 Mogami. So if you're going to keep the Mogami, I would highly recommend keeping a dedicated captain in there, because IFHE is a godsend, I believe, for just raw damage for this thing, because it is 155s, which really means you need a dedicated captain, because it doesn't translate well to the other two ships working, or really any of the ships working up the line. But, you know, with that being said, I mean, that's really what I can say. If you're going to keep this ship, stick with the 155s. If you are working through it and are still going to keep the ship, use the 203s, just so you are familiar with the guns. You should be with them by the time you get to the Ibuki, and then put a captain in there if you can to utilize the 155s and the glory that are those. I was using my torpedoes to see what the North Carolina was going to do. Noticed he really wasn't going to come out, so there was no point in dropping torpedoes. Now, I do notice that this guy was starting to show a side. I was kind of stealth shooting, and unfortunately, I only shot one gun and while I was doing the reload to AP. But I think this is going to kind of showcase a little bit, at least what I mean by the AP. You can actually do significant damage. I wish I could have got better gameplay, more gameplay of actually utilizing the AP just to bring that home. But of course, hindsight's always 20/20. And of course, the debate for me for 155s or 203, this video has got me actually leaning more towards the 155s with a dedicated captain. As you can see, I got a nice Citadel. I did 5,000 damage as we finished off the New Orleans. I immediately switched back to HE. Was thinking maybe I'll see the destroyer, maybe the battleship. I'm looking for damage over time. I'm looking to get people's damage repair party out. I'm gonna take shots in on the rune, but luckily for us, we're starting to pull this back. They only have 2 destroyers left. We've managed to kill one of them sitting in a smoke cloud with our torpedoes. I do believe one of them is inside the B cap. The other, the last known position of the other gentleman was up by the Neptune, so I highly doubt he's sitting behind the Neptune anymore. And there we go, Garen. There's the Pan-Asian DD. Gonna take a shot, because you know what? You never know if you're gonna get the hit, and I did get one hit. But I'm trying to slow play this corner a little bit. I don't want to come barreling out broadside to North Carolina, because my luck is I get deleted, and if I was the NC, I would fail to delete me. We have the Frederick, who just got torqued by the Pan-Asian DD. The Himper's making a play. But luckily for me, we got a full health Montana. I don't know how lucky that really is, but it is what it is. I'm gonna take a crack in at North Carolina. And the other thing I did want to point out is that, you know what, I am bottom tier. I'm trying to do everything I can to help the team. As Nikki usually says, I'm always more about the team than myself, but sometimes you do get to play a little selfishly, but right now it's all about the team. I want to stick with this Montana and try to screen for him. My fighter can stay up longer, can screen for torpedoes a little bit better than for him. Now, I don't know what the Montana was doing earlier. I'm not going to sit here and criticize. The only thing I'm going to say is thank God he's got an awful lot of health, because we're going to need it. Having a DD be able to push and take damage is extremely helpful. Now, the other thing I wanted to do was come along the outside of this island to try to keep the gentleman spotted for the Neptune. I don't know if the Neptune's sitting in smoke, but if I can keep the rune spotted while the Neptune stays in smoke and just paper cuts this gentleman to death, that is a good thing. So I'm really trying to keep the rune spotted for myself, the team, the Neptune, but I'm still trying to support the Montana, because I do know there is a destroyer sitting in B somewhere. Now, it looks like the Hipper's going to help him out. Not sure if the Montana is slow playing it, but seeing the shells come in on the rune from the Montana means his guns are looking this way, which means he's probably paying attention this way. Now, those surprised the living crap out of me. There is the second DD in front of the Neptune, but now we do now know for 100% certainty that the DD has left the gap because, one, we camped it. If I was paying attention earlier, we would have noticed the Hipper was actually camping. But we know the DD came out and is in front of us. He's not going to try to really harass the Hipper, I believe. I hope it's a Hipper inside B, because if not, I'm getting called out on it. But with the cruiser inside of B. Now, as you can see, I'm getting behind the Montana because, well, I don't want to lose my hit points. And once again, that actually surprised me that I got another destroyer sitting in a smoke, and that was a German DD. I wonder if his hydro was down. Now, that swung the game immensely. If that gentleman would have just smoked up and got spotted and then just kept on scooting on out of there, it could have made our lives living hell. Now, luckily for me, the Montana does spot these torpedoes. I'm going to be able to turn to avoid these. Now, just by seeing the way those torps came, kind of suggests to me that the Pan-Asian is kind of making his way towards this Zhao. Lucky break number 3, maybe, for this team is the Zhao got disconnected. I'm not sure if he's a bot. Who knows what AFK, whatever, free damage, take it. That's why I'm keeping the AG loaded, because, well, fire damage, let's burn this guy down. Let's get another fire, get the guaranteed kill on this guy, and try to figure out where this DD is. Now, my assumption that the DD was trying to make his way to the Zhao looks to be true. And kind of leaving the rune alone as I get kill number 3 on an AFKer, because he is border humping and I have a problem shooting border humpers. But right now it's a deadly game of cat and mouse of where the Pan-Asian DD is at. Now, I do suspect he was trying to make his way to the Hipper, but then I started thinking, what would I do if I was that destroyer? I just get spotted. I'm thinking he used that island for cover, but then I noticed there's no way I would be detected if he made it that way. I'm thinking I'm making a little bit of ground on this guy, or he's giving up a little bit of ground. Just going to ignore the rune, but I'm trying to pay attention to where I think he's going to be. I believe he might be to the left of me a little bit, but I definitely know he's in front of me. As you can see, I swing my guns to the left, I'm swinging them to the right. I'm just not 100% sure. All I do know is he is spotted. He decides to shoot. He's to the left of me. He smokes up for whatever reason. Really not going to be much here. We're not going to kill this guy. The game is actually quickly wrapping up. So now what we're going to do is check out a game where I utilize the Mogami in the light cruiser variant or the 155s. And here we go, guys. Here I am once again in my Mogami, but this time I'm running the 155s. And remember, I have a plus 85% meters per second. I believe it's 940 or 925 meters per second, while the 203s is 140. I forget. You can always go back, or you know what? I'll re-put those pictures up at this point just so you can see the comparison once again. Now, this game, I did notice the 2 gentlemen from Impact. Now, I've turned into the habit of knowing, trying to memorize good clans, good players. Impact has requirements, statistical requirements, in order for you to join them. They're not going to take any slouch off the any slouch from the game. I see that those guys are on A side, so I'm thinking A side is covered. Those two guys are over there. They know what they're doing, and as long as people aren't complete potatoes and just play god awful, they should be able to handle A side. Luckily for us, we don't have a Kagero. That was like the last time I showed this map with the Mogami with 155, so decided to go YOLO. But I chose this one because I'm going to utilize the torps while retreating again, and because I am bottom tier. Now, somebody did put a post in Reddit a while ago about how tier A cruisers are fine. People just need to stop sucking in them and showing broadside. It was a very good, well-written article. If I can find where it is at, I will try to put a link in the comments down below and pin it, or I will try to get it in the description. Now, I was going to utilize pretty much the spot where the Neptune is, but realizing that, you know, the Neptune can make better use of it because he has smoke, was slowing playing this a little bit, trying to wait for our Kagero to go and spot, because, well, he can spot everything, but you know what, I don't know if he's full stealth build. Maybe I just assume or take for granted too much that, you know what, most of my captains by now at least have concealment and are running some sort of stealth build. With the exception of my Germans. Well, with the exception of the ships where I don't, but that's probably 2 or 3. The other thing is, I just want to point out or mention again, this is only a 10-point captain. These are the exact same modules, the exact same captain skills. There should be no reason for you to get to tier 8 and not have a 10-point captain. It's very feasible. If you're retraining it, that's one thing. You know, can kind of understand that, but working through the ship line, you should at some point have a bare minimum a 10-point captain by the time you get up to tier 8. Is 2 destroyers got detonated. I noticed we are now minus our DD. Our North Carolina is already kind of in a running position. Our New Orleans, our Neptune set up properly to be able to push or run. And can you guess on what he's going to do now? But I'm starting to lean towards, if you're keeping a Mogami and are going to play her and you're going to put a dedicated captain in there, I used to be in the school of the 203s. Fortunate for me, I have a Tango and I do have an ARP, so there's my 203 Mogami now. I am leaning towards the school of 155 Mogami. I really can't stress it enough. If you really are working up the tech tree line, stick with the 203s, because those are the guns you're going to use for the next ship, which is the Ibuki, and you will just be used to them. These are the exact guns you've been using all along. The only thing is you will have to grind out of the 155s to the 203s, and it will feel like a downgrade, because it is a little bit. You are losing DPM. You're losing DPM for 2 ways. One, each of these turrets have an extra barrel. I can't do the math. Somebody else do it for me. Pretty much means you're pretty much losing a turret, but you're also losing rate of fire. That's 5 seconds longer reload on the 203s. Fire chances, whatever, because you're getting your fire chance through rate of fire. Now, I drop preemptive torps on the turpets again. I set him ablaze. Just kind of hoping that this gentleman thinks, well, now it's safe to put the fire out. The Mogami's not shooting at me anymore. He can't hit me. Let me use my damage repair party. I'm hoping to at least get 1 torpedo with a flood. As you can see, the Neptune and myself both are actually doing a kiting battle.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
As I get one torpedo with one flood, I actually chalk up the North Carolina as, well, dead. Because we have no more destroyers. The last known spot for the DD was at D. We're down ships again. We're down caps again. It's probably sounding like a broken record again. I'm dropping preemptive torps again. Focusing on the turrets again. But I'm trying to remain hidden, and I'm actually trying to utilize the torpedoes. I'm trying to utilize every tool to the best of my ability. I'm going to take a shot in at this guy because I actually notice he's losing health. I think he's actually flooding out. If I can get a fire, this is going to help me out more. I've got my torpedoes to deal with something potentially that has a lot more health. There's my fire. Might as well give him another kiss for the good night, but nope, I get a liquidator on the turrets. Unfortunate for us, Neptune decided to smoke up there. This might be a little bit of a waste of a smoke for him, but you know what? If he's able to shoot things, good. Whatever. I'm not sure when he smoked, but now we have a hero turret who is determined to go take on the world. North Carolina's running, I'm running, Neptune's running. Buddy, you're going head first into very little support. You're going to go in there and die. Now, my attitude is this. That probably would be me in a turpets. That's usually the way I would play. Like, hey, somebody needs to go up there and say, you shall not pass. Somebody needs to be the guy to go up there and try to slow these guys down. The only thing we know for certain over there are two ships. We don't know where the destroyer's at. The cruiser, it's been a while since we've seen a lot of ships over there. So at this point, I'm going to try to help the turrets out as much as possible. I'm going to make an error. I'm going to make a big mistake. Luckily, it does not bite me in the ass. But I see torpedoes come in on the smoke cloud. I see torpedoes. I actually wasn't thinking those were Neptune torps. I was thinking they were shimmy torps. But of course, hindsight's always 20/20. Those were the Neptune torps, not the shimmy. Shimmy turned around and went back to B. Yeah, went back to B. But at the time, I had failed to recognize this because I was just trying to deal with the situation in front of me. Now, I want to drop my preemptive torps again. I look at the minimap, see the turrets, and I think, you know what, if this guy plays it on the outside, I could drop torps. This guy's going to turn in, get my torps. Notice he's not going to play to the outside of that. He's turning in. Ping the map, beg him to realize I've dropped torpedoes. I do believe the turrets, the enemy turrets is putting the secondaries on ours. Montana's got full broadside on this turrets. I've got full broadside on this guy, but I'm looking to knock out modules. I'm looking to knock out his torpedo tubes. I'm looking to knock out secondaries. I'm looking to actually damage models, set fires to help our turrets out as much as possible. Hell, the guy's even turning broadside now for our turrets. As we lose our brave soul to this push. Now, he did kind of did what he wanted to. He slowed the enemy advance down. Now, an argument could say he threw his ship away. Probably. He could have probably turned and got into a kiting battle with all of these guys. But at this point, I'm sort of the lone soul, closest guy to our cap to try to defend it. I don't like this position because 5 people are targeting me, and I am just a lonely tier 8 cruiser. And then I start laughing hysterically as a Montana shoots high explosive at me for whatever freaking reason. But I still don't want to deal with the Montana shooting high explosive, so I'm going to kind of do blinking in and out with my shots. I'm holding my shots because I want to see if my torpedoes are going to hit. Now, while I still can get some help from the North Carolina, this is long-range shooting. I don't put faith in it. It looks like the Neptune or somebody else is still trying to help with these ships. Here comes North Carolina shells that completely miss. Trying to get all of my turrets to bear on this guy before I take a pop shot. But you know what? No need. Just going to let the flood do it. Now, the last thing I want to do is be the guy go toe-to-toe with Shimmy. And this is where the critical error of the where the hell did the Shimmy go come back to me. Now, in my defense, the last time we saw the Shimmy was at D. This has not been spotted since. If I was able to recognize that the torpedo sent on our Neptune was actually the Neptune's torps, I might have actually turned in and gone into B. But I'm spotted, and I do believe I can outspot a Neptune, or we will spot each other relatively close. But I'm running away, he's advancing. So I'm thinking this is the Shimmy. I need to try to psych this guy out. I need to try to make him think I'm going one way while my intent is to go another way. Going to turn back in, thinking that the Shimmy is behind the island there, and that is what is actually concealing me. Drop preemptive torps. Unfortunately, I don't get anything this time. But as you can see, we've kind of brought the ships back. Finally got a second cap. But we are still down points. But this push that was at A is starting to break out, make a dent on the enemy team. Well, all we've kind of done is kite and potentially slow them down a little bit. But with me not being spotted, made my turn, I'm going to come back into the cap. Somebody needs to deal with the destroyer. I was thinking he was going to come up this way. I was going to surprise him and just ass rape him. Notice it's a Neptune, and well, I really don't have the health to out DPM the Neptune, especially considering he has help. I'm dropping preemptive torps just in case he wants to push this way. Now, probably what I should have done was not shoot. This guy... this guy is either a intelligent player and realizes I've already dropped torps on 2 people trying to chase me down. He doesn't want to be victim number 3. Or what he's thinking is, screw this, I'm out of here. I need to go cap B. It's going to run up the channel to try to go cap B, even though our fleet is pushing over there. Maybe he's thinking that our fleet is going to turn around to deal with this enemy Montana. But luckily for us, our fleet is going to adamantly defend B. We still have no idea where the Shimmy is. At this point is when I realized he has to be up north. There's no reason for those guys to stay up north unless the Shimmy was up north. With the British cruiser that was to the south here finally dead, I feel a little bit safe going up against the Montana. And yes, this idiot is still shooting HE. This guy is the true definition of a potato. He could be doing so much more with his AP, and it seems like he never switches to it. I bet you guys can guess what I'm trying to do right now. Yes, I'm trying to drop preemptive torps on the Montana. I'm trying to drop where I think he's going to stop his turn. Get all guns to bear. Take a punt. Hoping that this guy's going to swing out, open himself up to get his rear turrets into play to eat a couple more torpedoes. The Neptune, at least, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, realized what I was doing, and I might have made his decision to go up to our cap a little bit easier. But this is where I'm trying to blink in and out. North Carolina shooting HE. You know what? Maybe you saw that I put him on fire. Montana shot. Turn. Let's get some guns to bear on this guy. I should be okay to shoot before he is reloaded. Get a torpid. Get a flood. But I'm going to play this off at this point, as this guy will eventually switch to AP. As you can see, a bunch of AP rounds coming in. Might as well turn my ship, get ready, because I'm going to go dark. Luckily for me, that happens. Otherwise, I would have probably pulled a Notzer. As I get a Witherer, as a Montana shoots HE at me again. Somebody gets a fire put on him. Don't care who it is, because I've got a flood. Flood is going to do a lot more damage than one fire. But you know what? 2 fires and a flood is going to do a lot more than just one. So we might as well pepper him with HE. At this point, I feel relatively safe because retard... I apologize for that, but this idiot is shooting HE yet again. And it's ample time to switch. But now, guys, we're going to check out the post-battle results for both of these games. Game number 1 on top, 81,000 damage. This is with the 203s, devastating strike, 3 ships sank. Game number 2 on the bottom with the 155s, 172,000 damage. Liquidator, Witherer, with the 2 ships I did sink. Game number 2 with the 155s, just under 2,000 base experience. Game number 1 with the 203s, base experience of 2,200. This is the 155 money screen. I wanted to keep this big so everybody can see premium, non-premium. 203 money screen. Once again, just wanted everybody to see with and without premium. Detail report for my 203s is 60,000 coming from main battery, 53,000 of that from high explosive, 6,800 coming of that from armor piercing, 14,000 coming from the torpedo hits, and just under 6,000 from the fires. Pretty much just the fires I did get. For those of you who did not know, Mr. Xanth is a very good friend of the channel. He is doing a giveaway on his channel right now. The link to his channel is in the description. I will try to get a link to the video up here at somewhere. I'm not 100% sure, but I will try to get an annotation or something for the video for his actual giveaway. Game number 2, detail report with the 155s. 50,000 damage coming from main batteries, all of that high explosives. 44,000 from torpedoes, and 78,000 from the fires and the floods I did get stick. Now, if you do notice between the 2 detail reports, my potential damage is roughly about the same. This one is about 100k more. Spotting did a little bit less. But I really did hope this video showcases the Mogami 203 versus 155s. My thoughts on whether you should use the 155s or the 203s. Like I said, if you're working up the tech tree, stick with 203s because they're going to be the guns you're going to use on the Ibuki, and that's what you're going to be used to. If you're keeping her, putting a dedicated captain in there, or if you have an Atago, then stick with the 155 Mogami because you have a 203 variant in Atago or the ARP variant of that. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do want to apologize a little bit for the Azuma Battleship replay. I know somebody said it was Matt game to watch. It is, but that is the best way to utilize the Azuma to get the best results. I feel, and that's what I was just trying to showcase, was how to properly play it, not get exciting gameplay. Because if you get exciting gameplay 9 times out of 10, a lot of shit has gone horribly wrong, and you just got lucky and got out of it alive. Which is probably 90% of YouTube videos. But on that note, guys, we do appreciate all the support you guys do give us. Please keep the replays coming in. We do enjoy them. The email for that is in the description. It's not a link. It's in the description. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, whatever holiday you are celebrating this holiday season. I hope you have a great one. And I'm still trying to get over this cold. And have yourselves one heck of a great day.